What's up, parents? I am Darwin Grazer, the middle school pastor,
And I am Robbie Maida, the high school pastor.
and we are putting together this little video to prepare you as parents for our upcoming series on sex and relationships.
Yeah, so instead of doing a live in person parent forum with everything going on, we decided to just do a quick video just to give you guys a little bit information and what we're going to be talking about over the next few weeks for this series.
Yeah, and since it's not live, the conversation piece is not there, but you are more than welcome to email me, email Robbie with your questions as they come up.
Or even call, text,
Call, text, all of those things work. Also, while we are giving these lessons each week, they are streamed live on YouTube. So you are welcome to watch them along with your students from home. So that's a really cool opportunity we've never had in a season other than this. So take advantage of that for this series especially.
Yeah.
In middle school, the series is called Awkward. And we're leaning into the fact that, yeah, it's going to be a little awkward to talk about these concepts with the students. And I'll give you a week by week summary real quick of what we're talking about. Week one, the bottom line is that what we do with our desires matters. So it's telling students that it's okay that we have desires. They are from God, but it is important what we do with those desires. And what I like about that one is it's general enough for the student who has no idea what we're talking about, but it's also specific enough for the student who maybe has more experience than they really should at this point. Week two then is the bottom line is just because you can do something doesn't mean you should, which is a really good one. It gets into talking about passions and obsessions and the difference between being passionate about something and letting that thing take over in your life. And then week three is how you treat others and yourself matters to God. The way that God designed things is perfect, the way that He designed it, and it matters how we express those things. And then week four, focus on becoming love before looking for love. And this one really explicitly talks about dating and how really when they're in middle school, students should be focusing on building themselves up and becoming someone who can be dateable in the future and be loved or becoming loved before loving others or looking for love. Sorry. Yeah, why don't you tell them about yours?
Yeah, so for high school, we are doing a series titled More to the Story. The whole idea is that our teens are bombarded with all sorts of stories, right? Information on what sex, dating, relationships, and how to view these topics should be. They're given lots of stories and definitions and ways to pursue these things. But the reality is that there's more to it than they're often being told from their schools or from their friends or from social media or from TV, whatever it is. And so the whole idea that there's more to the story is that we're looking at what God has in mind for these things. And so starting off week one, the bottom line is that when it comes to sex and dating and relationship, that there's more to the story. And so we're going to be specifically taking this week to kind of look at dating as a whole and how students can put their relationship with God first in the way that they intentionally set a high bar for potential candidates to be doing this with. And also just how to date wisely. Most of them will probably encounter opportunities in this season of life to do that. And it's important for them to approach it from a very wisdom-based perspective and biblical perspective. And then week two, the bottom line is that sex isn't casual no matter how casually it's treated. And so we're going to be diving right into the topic of sex, whether it's in a dating relationship, whether it's not a dating relationship, whatever it is, and just looking at how it really is meant for oneness in the context of marriage and how when it's misused, it causes all sorts of destruction, no matter how much society tries to tell us that it is casual. it really isn't. And so that's going to be the goal of that week, and to start helping students think through how they value that and how they should make goals and lines for themselves moving forward. The third week, we're going to be looking at porn never tells the whole story as the bottom line, and so we're going to be specifically looking at porn for that week, for week number 3. And just the lies that porn is telling us. And it doesn't have to be just, full on graphic porn that you might be looking at on the internet for some of these students, but even just messages we hear in songs or a normal sitcom on TV, just normalizing sex and making it, giving students an allure to it that isn't actually real or sustainable. And then so the last week, the bottom line is that Jesus wants more for your story. And the whole goal of this is to kind of tie all the ends together and to prompt students to kind of make their own game plans for themselves with accountability in their small groups, with peers and their small group leaders, to approach these things, like we said from the very beginning, with more wisdom and more thought and more biblical perspective, instead of just finding themselves in a situation without having thought through how to respond to those situations.
So those are what we're going to be going through the next 4 weeks, and we wanted to let you know in advance so that you can start the conversations at home. If you're watching this on YouTube, in the description, there's going to be a few links to some resources to help with that conversation. If you're reading it in the email that we're sending out, the links are in the email. So take advantage of those resources. Reach out to us with any questions that you have. We really want you to feel equipped in this season, and we want you to know exactly what your kids are going to be discussing for this coming series. Mine starts on February 17th, and yours starts the week after that, right? The 24th.
Correct.
So then it'll be a 4-week series, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, and as always, look out on the Parent Q app. If you haven't downloaded that, that's going to have some weekly information for you guys to kind of bring this home. And I'll say it again, this might be one of those series that you want to listen to our talks and hear what your kids are actually learning. Obviously, we can't bring you into the small group setting to hear what's going on there, but the conversation will continue after our lessons. But you can hear, what we're teaching from the stage and what might be going through their brains because of that. So.
Yeah, and if you want access to any of these resources or like an outline of some of our lessons, just ask us and we can get those to you in advance before our lessons actually happen. That's just to get you feeling more prepared.
Well,
I
think that's everything.
Thanks so much for watching. We look forward to going into this series with your students.
Thanks so much, guys.